Hey guys, I'm at the Colorado School of Trades with Jeff Evans. We're going to talk about the fundamental building blocks of your knowledge in gunsmithing, the Design and Function Lab. Gavin here from UltimateReloader.com. Thank you so much, Jeff, for talking about design and function.
Of course, Gavin, it's nice to meet you.
Now, before we get into that, tell me about a little bit of your background in firearms and how you ended up here.
I've been interested in firearms ever since I was a little tiny kid. Dabble around a little bit in the firearms industry, have worked mostly though in the customer service industries. And I discovered that one of the best gunsmithing schools in the country was in the city that I lived in. So,
lucky you.
Yeah. Came here and looked into the program, did a tour. Took me a couple of years to get everything lined up, and then came to school here. And then I had a really great opportunity for one of the better known gunsmiths here in the Denver metro area. His name's Bart Miller. Wealth of knowledge, and so I went down and worked for him, trying to be the best sponge I could be for the couple of years working for him, and then moved on to some other shops where I could find some other opportunities and abilities to learn. And then the school changed hands as far as ownership, and that caused me to reach out to them and see if they had any spots available. And a couple of years later, and I'm running the DNF section.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me about design and function. What is covered in the program? So
there's a couple of different aspects. We've got the classroom stuff where we go through.
Which is right here, correct?
The classroom actually is the one that's up front where we're actually sitting down in a classroom setting where we talk through,
lecture.
We go through 30 to 40 different firearm systems, going all the way from bolt actions to finishing off with revolvers and kind of everything in between. Talk to them about the systems, how they work, why they work the way that they do. Talk through the safeties, certain special checks, things that we're going to be looking at a given system. So like a lever action. Lever is very, very important to that.
Or a revolver latches properly and is safe to fire. And
exactly. Revolvers, one of the bigger things is timing, making sure that the ratchets and the hand and the bolts or cylinder stops are all working the way that they're supposed to be working in the right time that they're supposed to be working. We talk through a lot of that stuff in the classroom. And then once we get out here to the lab, it's time for them to actually work on customer firearms, which is a little bit of a different thing than what you will run into in some of the other schools. A lot of the other schools just flat out don't have the licensing to be taking firearms off the street. So a lot of times it's kind of what the student can bring to the table.
Right.
Whereas here, anything that can walk through the door that fits into our licensing, they have the ability to possibly work on back there.
So how do you decide which jobs from the public go to which students?
Very much like in a shop. It's kind of a first in, first out sort of scenario. So
here you go.
Exactly. And you learn better that way, in my opinion, because you're going to get thrown curveballs that you weren't expecting.
Yes.
That being said, there are definitely some times where, we've got a woodworking project on a high gloss stock that needs to be done just so. We'll usually try to pick out a student that's been doing better work in that vein to try to get that done.
Which probably means they're more interested in it, I'm guessing in some cases?
Yes, most of the time that's absolutely the case. And then, if we need to as instructors step in and help them out with that project, then, they'll get a little bit more, hand-holding is the wrong term, but, shown the way.
Sure. I have some specialized knowledge in certain areas, and I've sort of gone outside of my comfort zone. For example, completely disassembling a Model 629 revolver to have it ion bonded, and I'm taking it apart, and I did learn a couple tricks like wrapping on it to get the side plate to pop off and some stuff like that. But I'm looking at the internals and I can see how it works, but there's a lot of nuance to tolerances and the proper functioning and all that. And like you said, I can say now from experience, when you open a gunsmithing shop, you don't know what's going to walk through the door.
Yes.
And you don't want to take every job, but you want to have the knowledge to
You don't, but at the same
customers.
time, when when I'm talking through, there's a customer service bit that I do in the classroom, and one of the things that I talk to them about is, especially when you were early on, you almost want to take everything that walks through your door.
You might need to feed your family, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. But you also never know what that customer's got at home in the safe.
Yeah.
You know, they might have brought you the, you know, kind of cruddy 22 that, you know, no one really wants to work on. That being said, that's sort of an interview job.
So in the program, what do you think are some of the highlights from the curriculum? Like if you look at a particular type of firearm, a different system or whatever, like those skills that you enjoy teaching or that are really valuable skills for the students to make money with later in their careers, that sort of thing?
The refinishing stuff that we cover over here is probably the biggest money maker as far as skills that we teach over here.
Which types of refinishing are we talking about?
Whether we're talking about wood or metal.
Okay, like bluing?
Yes, bluing, Cerakote.
How about nickel plating? When you get a nickel plated revolver that's half worn or something like that?
Unfortunately, nickel plating is one of those kind of, there's an opening for somebody to step up in the firearms community to do nickel plating. You can still find shops out there that will do a lot of automotive stuff, but you know, to your tolerances point earlier, firearms are not bumpers.
And nickel is something special.
Yes.
It might not be the bling you're looking for, but it has a different appearance than chrome, and it has a different appearance than polished stainless, of course.
Definitely.
It's something special.
It is. And you know, we can fill a lot of the blanks, but unfortunately there's some things like electroplating and anodizing and things like that that we just don't get into here.
Sure.
But we do give them a good foundation so that they can move on and discover some of those things for themselves. I mean, one of the things that I do try to get across to our students is that we're getting the basics into you.
Yeah.
This is not a thing where you're going to be able to leave here and go immediately start building custom revolvers.
Right.
You're going to have a good idea about how to do a lot of things, put in some work, figure out how to actually do some of these things maybe a little more efficiently.
Learn from a couple different instructors, shops, people, right? Because everyone brings a different set of skills and a different philosophy to the table, right?
Definitely. Yeah. And I happen to think that that is, you know, absolutely biased, but I happen to think that that is one of the things that we bring to the table really well here. We have a whole bunch of different instructors. Everybody's got kind of their way that they do things, and that gives the students really excellent exposure to some different ways to accomplish the same task.
Yeah, and they'll learn the older school type stuff.
Yep.
And then there's also CNC machine shop equipment here that you get hands-on time with. So
absolutely.
That's a pretty good breadth of stuff that's covered here.
And then, you know, I mean, the industry is moving heavily into things like 3D printing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
we use it at our shop for masking for Cerakote and for gripping rifle barrels in the lathe and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's really good.
And then, you know, that is another thing that, you know, hopefully we can add as time goes on. But yeah, going to be extremely important to the industry.
Well, that's really cool. So you guys are going to want to check out the other videos that I'm filming while I'm here at CST. If you want to know more, go to schooloftrades.edu, and if you can get down to this area, I've seen multiple students take the tour here. We took the tour. We actually have a dedicated video, so we'll give you this sort of vicarious view of here, but you really have to be here to meet the people, feel the energy. When you walk into this place, there's a lot going on.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot of buzz, there's a lot of machines running.
It's a busy place, for sure.
Absolutely true. So go to schooloftrades.edu, check out my content, make sure you're subscribed, and also, what do you think of this design and function lab? Drop a comment and share your feedback. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. If you're interested in custom rifles like what we build here on the channel or gunsmithing services, you're going to want to go to rifles.ultimatereloader.com and get on the wait list. If you want to learn lucrative gunsmithing like what I show here on the channel, including building custom rifles and Cerakote plus a whole bunch more, you're going to want to check out the Colorado School of Trades, schooloftrades.edu. Thanks again for watching.